Hey, what's up, everybody? Ruff here, and today I'm going to be going over my track Reasons with Robbie Rosen and Mercedes. We're diving into the Ableton project file, going to be showing you how the song was made, the elements behind it. Really excited, so let's dive right in. So, if you have not heard the song yet, I'll play it with the vocals. It goes like this.
I found your box of clothes, yeah, it drove me crazy. Spending all my time thinking about you lately. Leaving me on red, how does that even happen? We look back on these days, I swear we'll both be laughing. Let you down when I lied, you're broken inside, but I'm still looking for answers. Sad songs in my mind on repeat every night. I wish I was, but I'm not. Giving you reasons to love me anymore. Should've done better for you, now you're gone, our trust is torn. Holding what's left of something beautiful. Memories are all I got, 'cause I'm not giving you reasons to love me anymore. To love me anymore. No.
Yeah, so that is the track. Now, this is the pre-mix version, so fun, not really fun for me, but funny story behind this track. So I made a ton of the sounds and synths and stuff in like one night in one session and loaded up a ton of Serum, Contact, Nexus, just a lot of CPU heavy like VSTs that once I exited out of Ableton and quit out and then tried to reopen the project file the next day, it would just freeze and it was a nightmare. So it took a while to like kind of stem everything out in a different computer. Now I got a new computer, like a Mac Mini. I had a laptop and it was just not like CPU intensive enough to handle the project. So that's why some of these are frozen and I can't show you all the sounds. I'm going to do my best. Some stuff's frozen and flattened to audio and some stuff isn't even in this project file. But other than that, it's enough to show a lot of cool tricks. So the first thing I want to point out is the BPM. So I've been doing this a lot in recent tracks and some tracks that I have that are unreleased that'll be coming out later this year is kind of automating the drop to be anywhere from 2 to 4 beats faster than the verses and chorus. So you'll see if you pay attention right here, the song's 140. Right when that drop hits, I automated it just in the Ableton automation on the master right here. So you'll see I automated it to automatically, right when that drop and that first kick in the drop hits, for it to immediately switch to 144. And then once it goes back to the verse, it'll switch back to 140. And I do that for all 3 drops in the track. And that just kind of is a little trick I've been doing to basically make the drop feel bigger, faster, just more impactful. A lot of Latin songs do it where the chorus will speed up a bit more than the verses. And it's just been working out well. So definitely something to consider in your tracks. But starting off with, I'm just going to go section by section. The intro is all atmosphere. So if I open it up, you'll see I'm crazy organized in my project files. But this main sound here that you see in the intro is just a reverb. I put a reverb on the master, bounced out like super wet, bounced out like two bars, 2 to 4 bars of all the chords and like atmosphere of the verse, then reversed it. Then what I put on, I believe I put on here, yeah, an auto pan with the amount and rate automating up, and you'll see. So that's where it gets that really fast auto pan movement. The amount and the rate is just bouncing from the stereo field back and forth real fast. And then I combine that with this cafe ambiance, which I use in pretty much every song, just like chatter from a cafe, with this jet engine, cashmere, and then this atmosphere and this animal noise from Kashmir and put it all together with the effects, and the intro is basically that's it. It's just I just thought that'd be a great way to open the track, kind of set the tone for how atmospheric the song is, because really without these atmosphere elements, the track is very, very kind of closed in because all the space is coming from this group right here. Just a lot of high-end, very reverbed out space, adding a lot of volume to the track in the like kind of upper region. But if we dive in, so chord-wise, in the verse I got a few pads and pianos. So you'll see this is, I believe, Addictive Keys. These two pads. And the MIDI is just very basic songs in D major. This note here is kind of guiding. You'll see. So that's what that note was in there for. And then I bring in a lot of orchestral elements. And when I do my orchestral elements, what I like to do is I have typically four orchestral sounds. I'll do one in the low octave that's pretty mono. I'll do one in the high mid that'll shift to the right in the stereo field. One I'll shift to the left, and then a really high octave that I'll put really wide. So this is the low mid, low middle, and this one. All together. Just adds like a nice, I have orchestral elements in literally every song. It's like my favorite thing ever. So put all these chords together with the atmosphere, and for the verse section, you got this. And something I find pretty cool with that little fill transition is I did a lot of weird sampling in this song with things from like around my house. So this is actually, the fill is just this one with just some delay and like an auto filter opening up. But I layered on top of that, I took a lighter and I flicked it in front of the mic a few times from like close, far away to get a few different sounds, put them together, and then I layered it on top just to add like some high end to the fill. So I'll just play that. So together, I just thought it'd add like a nice little textural element that felt real, you know? Like, and then going into these drums here, got the kick, just playing reverse kick into just playing like some trappier pattern. So and then I got this snap. I'll just bring the elements. I'll loop this and then bring the elements in as they. So. And then this clock perk is what really drives the rhythm. And then these hats come in the second half. These hats are automating the amount on the auto pan just to go back and forth. If you're wearing headphones, you'll hear it a lot better than like through an iPhone or something. But I like to do that a lot with my percussion and hats. It's just automated in the stereo field just a little bit. And it adds some nice like dimension and really engulfs the listener more than just having them statically in the middle or panned just one way or another the entire time. And then once we move into the chorus, so that little transition right there, I love. That's just an animal. I believe it's like a hawk. Yeah, so that's like this Amazon bird that I reversed. This is what it originally is. And then I reversed it, put a reverb on, and then that did that same auto pan trick with the rate where it goes so fast that it adds that kind of like vibrating feel. And I just thought that big thing I did in this track was just a lot of animal noises as transitions. I mean, I just thought it was super cool. When I get into the pianos here, I actually added 2 more pianos. So we got the mids, a little more of like a fatter, more OTT piano with this layered with this lower octave. And just this, I believe this is from Arturia. And I reversed the first note to kind of giving like that sucking in and out feeling to the next chord. So. And that's layered with a Reese bass as well as a rhythmic bass. I'll show you. So just this Reese playing the root notes. And then this is just a couple Nexus bass guitars just playing the root on like a syncopated off rhythm just to give like a little bit of movement since the chords are so static. Put that with this, with the chords, and you get. But I felt like there needed to be something else. That's why I added a few guitars. So this is just some samples, and then I also have Contact playing some strums. So all together, the guitars sound like this. But if I take out the Contact, it kind of like the whole chorus loses its like vibe. It just adds so much movement. Now once we get to the build, so the build's the usual, got this kick with obvious reverb and high pass kind of going hand in hand to automate as the build goes. And then in the drums, got just some loops, some so these are like the orchestral section here. And then with these loops, okay. Then just these fills, which really add a nice little drive into the drop. Effects wise, just the usual, some risers, some sweeps. What I also have been doing a lot in my pre-drop kind of bar to 2 bars is the sub drop right into a reverse sub drop. Just to kind of bring everything down and back up. And once we get to the drop, there's really a lot of this drop is coming from the drums, to be honest, and the atmosphere along with the drums. So I did these like woos and hays soloing the drums. So I really wanted to add like just a lot of bounce and groove and movement to this drop. So it's just your basic kick. It's a little bit of a punchier kick than the verses and the build. So it's just EQ on it too. And then when I bring in the drums, these snares and rim shots. Got these crashes and these hats. And then just the shaker as well. Like I said, these woos and these hays, just these. And just adds a lot of bounce, you know? So like all together. And you hear that, so that's just some white noise as well as some crowd noise, just kind of gliding on every one. And that really adds that release of energy. And the leads were made in a different project file because there's so much like CPU. This is what they sound like. So those are the leads, and then kind of the chords were also made in a different project file for the most part. Yeah. So combine that with the beat. And then the bass is few elements here. So we got the subbier, lower frequency sounds doing just like a side-chained, sustained root note. And then on top of that, I wanted to add some bounce to the bass as well, which is why these plucks kind of play off that subbier bass. Just this is actually a cello. So just a lot of orchestral elements throughout this track, and all together. And this guitar's also playing with the chords. Just, again, adding rhythm, adding bounce, adding groove. Then once we get into the second verse, same drums, but I have like a shelf, kind of making them feel like they're a little bit like underwater. Same thing with the kick too. Really letting that rhythmic guitar from the previous chorus come back in. Like everything in the second verse, I wanted to feel a bit underwater because Mercedes has such a high-powered, like high-frequency voice that I just wanted to let it shine. I didn't want too much from the other elements to clash, so I just decided, screw it, let's shelve them all.
You never even tried, just let me on with life.
Really let the vocal take over, but still bring the groove and that rhythm back into the second chorus, same thing. I really wanted the chorus to open up, even though the guitar was first. See this guitar kind of, it goes from just really opens up, feels a lot bigger. Drop. And then this bridge section is the pretty much the last thing. That's where the ARP comes in. So you'll see. And the atmosphere in the bridge is pretty interesting. So I took the sustained string out and replaced it with these elements. And then the ARP, which is just playing. And then it also comes in the drop. So all together, this bridge. And then just got that kind of sucking ending. And where that comes from is just a reverse of the impact, actually. And that's the track. So if you guys have any questions at all, just drop them in the comments. I'll reply to everybody. Thank you so much for all the support on this track. It's been amazing. I'm going to be doing a lot more track breakdowns, tutorials, ton more on YouTube. So definitely hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And I'll catch you in the next video. Going to do another tutorial real soon, so I'll see you there.